I just realized my audio was off the entire time. I am so sorry for anybody sitting in the waiting room. But hey, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a good evening. I am back with another stream, as you can see here. Yeah, so just a couple slight technical glitches. As if you saw the Instagram post, yes, this is a little later than what I anticipated. Today's job hunt went so slow. But you know, here we are. We are earning a few pennies with each ad, so we're getting something done today, right? And I did a little bit of research on what my friend Kevin mentioned yesterday, and looking into that, it feels overwhelming for me, honestly, but I'm actually kind of excited to try it out too. But you know, that's just one of those we'll see type things. Anyway, looks like my channel, if you have Discord, if you give me a sub, you get 3 months of Nitro free, which is cool. Thank you, Discord, for having this promotion. I do have a goal of 5 subs on Twitch. Just starting out small, nothing crazy. But yeah, that's how things are currently going on the Twitch side of things. You don't have to subscribe on Twitch if you don't want to. You can just go ahead and give me a follow. I appreciate it. On the YouTube side of things, there's no such thing as follow, it's subscribe. So please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe on the YouTube side of things. And it looks like I had a bunch either fall off or come back during my hiatus. So we are a couple away from my next camera only stream. So that's pretty cool and exciting. So looks like we're about 2 away from that, so cool beans. So I'll do that when, you know, when and or if that comes to fruition. My sounds for my streamer bot is still a little bit borked. When I moved rigs, I forgot to copy the sound files over, so there's still no sound with that. It's fine. It gives me a chance to go shopping for new sounds again. And what else? Oh yeah. Also, if you feel the need to, you don't have to, but if you want to donate to me in any particular way, it looks like I'm not connected to something. Hold on. That's weird. Give me a second. My streamer bot decided it didn't want to sign in with it on a couple things. But it's resolved now. So yeah. But what's this thing? Oh yeah. If you do feel the need to donate to me, Twitch, you do have the ability to give me bits if you want. I do appreciate it. If you are the type that doesn't feel right about donating with something in return, I do have commissions up on my Ko-fi stream. If you also become a Ko-fi member, you get basically Discord membership, which is similar to if you become a Twitch subscriber. Currently, the only promotional item benefit is like a special chat room, which basically has links to my works in progress. But I do hopefully plan to make more eventually someday for you guys. There's the commissions, and I do eventually, like these stories that I'm writing, I do plan to put them up for purchase, like in a PDF format or something for you guys. But that's enough rambling. Again, like yesterday, I'm going to stream until 6. So we only have a couple hours, so let's get into it. This, right now we are going ahead and we are going to be crafting a nightmare scene. So let's get crafting. I had a couple inspirational moments. So hopefully I can fit them in into all a nice coherent file? I don't know how. Shrug. But yeah. Okay, and I've already thought of some ways that I want to edit this story too. I am procrastinating, guys. I am so sorry. Let's just get crack-a-lackin', yeah? Okay. The wind was blowing. This blowly was blowing. No, don't reload. Process it later. Warm breeze. It was peaceful and serene. It was peaceful, serene, and very hot. Well, the wind should have been a nice, cool, I don't say breeze again, should have been nice and cool. It was instead warm and humid. It reminded, instead of breathing on her entire body at once, I'd have been standing in the middle field. It felt more like, it felt she closed her eyes. She could imagine standing. She could imagine that she was standing in front of someone's breathing out. Oh, 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 oh. I want to say someone's mouth with the hot breath pouring over her periodically. So she won't close her eyes. She just stood where she was, surveying the scene. It didn't make sense. Why was the air so warm? That's not normal, right? Oh, right. What did she forgot? grab that. Well, it's something between that and that. Emily! Me out of the car. She drove closer to where Emily was. The words were unintelligible as the noise of the car drowned them out. That didn't matter. Emily knew exactly what Mallory was talking about. Oh, right. How could she have forgotten? How could she have forgotten? To go... We're gonna go mountain jump. Not mount, waterfall. Apparently the hottest day of the year. One of those trips with them. Turned around and clipped her hair back with a clip she had to be holding in her hand. Passenger side. Great. Our red-headed friend. I'm just throwing all of my usual dream tropes into this, apparently. You'll see in a second. Although the valley had no roads to speak of, Mallory drove through with an abandon, with an ease that made Emily wonder how many times before Mallory had driven through here. The car went up hills, down hills. There was even a ramp that it took at full speed so it could clear a sudden gap that had occurred since the last time she was here. All the while, even though Emily was scared going on this ride with Mallory. She felt more concerned that something would happen to the land they were traveling on. That she was, excuse me, she was more concerned that something happened to the land they were traveling on than Mallory making any sort of vehicular mistake. Eventually, the duo were parked at the peak of a mountain. The land barely enough to fit the car and the two women once they had stepped outside of it. Was wearing a one-piece black swimsuit, and Mallory was wearing a full Victorian, a Victorian lace gown. Are you ready? Brand hiked up her skirt and ran to the edge of the cliff, where a full body of water stretched out below her. Emily ran to the edge and peered over, watching her friend's body get further and further away. Come on! Hear her exuberant Well, if Mallory had done it, there shouldn't be any reason why she shouldn't either. Taking steps away from the ledge, Emily began to prepare to run. But after 2 steps, taking several, but after 2 steps, after she pushed off and took 2 steps, she found her feet surrounded by vines and her body fell forward onto the cliff. Onto the ground. Nowhere near the edge she had been hoping to jump off of. She she could hear her friend calling distantly. She replied, turning to kick the vines off of her legs. They had no fight in them and were easy enough to untangle herself from. Once she pushed herself back up, she turned around and found herself face to face with a brick wall, painted in some garish orange color. The only upon further inspection, however, the color was not the color was not the wall was not just the orange color. There were splashes of red as well. Take a moment to inspect one of the splashes. Emily peered. Taking a moment, peering at one of the red splashes, Emily took a step closer to inspect the paint, and then immediately reeled back again as she recognized it as a child's handprint. Her gaze swept over the rest of the wall. All the red splashes were handprints, mostly the size of a child's hand, but some larger than even her father's. The sudden urge to go warn her father welled up within her, and she turned around again and began to run down the jungle path toward where she knew an airplane was stashed away. If she could get to her father, everything would be okay. There would not be any need to worry about anything. There not be any need to worry about anything. She slid down an embankment surrounding where the plane was hidden, getting closer to the, I won't say vehicle, I used that already. Getting closer to, not a contraption, getting closer to her escape. Scrolling up. Don't worry. As she neared the airplane, she began to pull vines away from the trees that surrounded it, and then branches off of the trees, so that it would be able to have a clear runway from which it could escape its sylvan garage. Finally, she breathed. Looking over the handiwork she accomplished in such short time. As she strode toward the door of the plane's door, she paused and looked up at the sky. Perfect. No clouds, she observed out loud. Then she continued toward the door and pulled it open. Thousands upon thousands of bugs, different types, crawling, flying, skittering. Thousands upon thousands of bugs, all of different varieties, exploded from the now open door and fell upon the unsuspecting young woman. Do I want to end the chapter here? Sat straight up in bed, her hands flapping to fight off the invisible creatures as they threatened to swarm her hair and clothing. I think that's a suitably creepy dream sequence. Could be longer, I will admit, but I think it's suitably creepy. Alright. Excuse me. Hold on a second. I have no idea how I did that. Okay, anyway. Chapter 6. Centra. Alright. Okay. Chapter 6. So the mattress topper didn't work. That's old. C8. As he a bit off another bites of his bagel. Emily muttered into her coffee mug, nearly emptied its second cup. It was worth a shot. His eyes lingered on her. M? He asked. Yeah? Excuse me? Bad dreams are worse. He trailed off with a shrug and took another bite of his bagel. What is it's not a bad thought. And from her corner of the kitchen, already hard at work, rolling. Oh, excuse me. Mixing food that would later. Mixing filling would later go into casserole dishes. Her daughter as well. I'm not crazy, Mom. Emily defended. Emily said defensively. She shrugged into herself. That's definitely unrelated to my body. She asked tentatively. But Julio and your friend. Emily pointed out. Emily countered. But Julio and your friend had nightmares too. And they are inducing issue. Excuse me. Maybe next time I need to make a cup of coffee for this. But we'll see. But who and your friend had nightmares too? We can't all be suffering from the same nightmare-inducing issue. Scrolling up. Still worth a shot. Dennis muttered, but didn't push the issue. Instead, he turned his attention to his wife, who had gone back to preparing for the videos. I don't remember if I named her Murray or Maria, so it's going to go back and forth. Maybe there'll be an ongoing joke for the story too. I might ask you two to head over. And I'll bring the pies afterward. I don't know if they're asking like pie. I forgot to make pie. She returned. She returned this time. She was defensive. It's expected. Even if they don't ask me directly. If I don't bring it, everyone will be upset. Suit yourself, he replied. He replied with a half shrug. With anything? He asked with a half sigh. More out of politeness than anything else, since he knew what her response would be. Why Emily never bothered to offer. Oh no. Mary Jo responded. I've got everything covered on this end. I'd have to work around you. Would not be efficient at all. She responded with a shake of her head. You two just relax today, she declared. Get ready to go around two. Get ready. Oh my goodness gracious. Sorry about that, guys. You two just relax today. Make sure you get ready. She declared, then amended her statement. Well, relax then. Otherwise, Marie will talk my ear off. How slow you are. Excuse me. Oh boy. Okay. But you're... You're planning on arriving late, Emily pointed out. I'm ready for that conversation. I'm ready for that conversation. Show up on time. With the dishes. The dishes won't have that much to complain about. If you say so. With a shake of her head. I know so, Mary Jo. Said confidently. The oven beeped at that moment, letting her know that it had finished the preheating cycle. That was quick, she muttered. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see what else. I don't want this scene to be done here. It was intended to be a short story. I don't want, like, page-and-a-half-long chapters either. So let's see. Sipping the last of the coffee from her mug. Dennis stated as he pushed himself out of his seat. Speaking of having fun, started. Go see if the game's already started yet. Actually, let me do a quick Google search. Hold on. Come here, Google Foo. Nope. $12:30 p.m. So that'll be, yeah, this is still in the morning. What is his hobby? What are some hobbies of manly men? I'm literally kind of at a loss for this. Work on the car. Okay. Chevrolet. At his big garage. Oh, it was a piece of junk he found on the side of the road. One day. And his hobby for the last, let's pick a random number. No, it'll have to be 6 plus for the last 10 years. Had been to work on getting her restored piece by piece by piece by piece. By all rights, he should have been completed with the restoration by this point. But excuse me again. Alright, tomorrow I'll drink more coffee before I stream, I promise. By all rights, he should have completed the restoration by this point. And But no. Emily figured that he should have been, but she also didn't know what exactly was involved in restoring a car like that. So she could have been overestimating how quickly restoration would go. How close are you to being done? She asked him, picking up his plate and carrying it over to the sink for him. Dennis shrugged at the question. No idea. I'll know when I know. That was his typical answer for the last couple of years. Whenever anyone asked him about Betsy. You're already done with her, she accused, which brought a snort out of Mary Jo. Who is listening? Possibly. He winked at her and stepped out of the kitchen, making his way through the house to the back door, which would take him to the spare garage and Betsy. Funny you asked that, Mary Jo commented. Accused him of being done for a while now. At his time with Betsy. It's just a long time for him. Why didn't you even stop then? Honey, everyone needs a long time. Gave her a smile that said, one day you'll understand. That promised future understanding. And when he's out there with Betsy, getting his own alone time in, that's often when I can find my own alone time. She winked at her daughter. I've caught up on so much reality television lately. Because of that. Emily couldn't stifle a laugh. Emily laughed. Her dad hated how fake reality television often was, and had no problems voicing his complaints whenever he saw anyone watching it in his household. It had become a secret between the two women that Mary Jo would often sneak episodes in while he was working late. Odd hours. Had to step, or had to run to the store for something. Sneak segments of episodes in while he was working, while he had to stay late for work for a few minutes. Alright. Actually, Emily, her mother thought out loud. Her mother started thinking out loud. What's that? I have an idea for you. She asked, already starting to fill the sink so she could help her mom by cleaning the dishes. Go take a nap. Not in your room. For obvious reasons. But sleep in your father and I's room. In my room. Your father and I's? Your father in my room? Sleep in my room. But sleep in our room. Sleep in our room. Get some sort of rest before tonight. Family get-togethers are wonderful and draining. She chuckled at a memory. At least not while you're an adult. I remember you would hide away in someone's bedroom. I'd fall asleep until you were a toddler. How you've changed. Time flies. Emily shrugged. Not sure what else to say as her mother shared those memories with her. Memories she could barely recall herself. Indeed, they do. Very chill. Responded. A bit of wistfulness in her voice as she allowed those memories to linger. Anyway, let me handle. I appreciate you offering to do the dishes. So let me handle them. You go get some rest. Go get some rest. I'll let, if your father comes in, before I see you, I'll let him know that you're napping in our bed. You know, Emily started as she slowly made her way out of the kitchen. I could always nap on the couch. Upstairs with you. Upstairs with you. Mary Jo stated, shaking her head. With a light she teased. Alright. 7,000 words then, guys. Making good progress. And we got about an hour left. Cool. I'm actually going to go refill my water because I drank all of it already. So I will be right back. I will keep you with the music, and here, I'll keep the text on the page so you can read it over if you want. Speak. Alright. I am back. Although I gotta scooch closer to the desk. Okay. Did y'all miss me? Alright. I'm stretching. Checking a couple things out real quick. Clicked the wrong thing, sorry about that. Got some weird stuff in my emails. I'll worry about that at a future time, just not right now. Alright, so let's see, where were we? Oh yes, we are moving on to another chapter, that's right. Chapter 7. Let's see, what are we doing this chapter? Emily tugged at the skirt of the dress she had decided to wear to tonight's Thanksgiving dinner. It wasn't that... I'm gonna scroll up. It was a short dress, by any means. She felt like it should be longer. She remembered it being longer and not just barely over her knees. Had she grown since she last wore it? When was the last time she wore this? I'm gonna say yellow. This yellow dress and this yellow sundress and a cardigan. Oh yeah, I guess if it's Thanksgiving, it would be kind of cold, huh? Well, still people would still wear skirts and stuff, right? Because heating. Hashtag Florida problems. When was the last time she wore this yellow sundress and cardigan outfit? Had it really been so long ago? She really couldn't remember. It's 1:30, Dennis hollered, his voice reaching throughout the entire house. Let's get going. Emily looked away from her mirror. She had it. Looked away from her mirror in surprise. She hadn't finished putting on any makeup or jewelry. She had finished putting on her makeup, let alone add any jewelry. She yelled from her room. She could hear his low tone grumble of something about not being surprised. Followed by a, how long will it take? Jewelry didn't. Jewelry. Really, I can't type. It take that long. what she was going to add already. The makeup. If she wanted to do it right, would take longer. She wanted to rush it, it would still take a few minutes. She yelled back in return. Could hear her, her mother's tone became audible downstairs. Emily wasn't able to hear the exact words, but it must have been something, but she got the sense. Her mother was mediating on her behalf. Maybe she was saying something like, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I don't think that's spelled correctly, but meditating is definitely not the word either. She could hear her father's grumbling voice respond to her. Maybe something like, maybe not. But in the next moment, his voice became audible. Understood, Emily called down, already pulling out her preferred makeup elements. She was going to have to rush it after all. Was stepping down and she was fine. Walking down the stairwell. Her father grumbled again. Took you long enough. Sorry, Emily apologized. I want to make sure that Emily, her mother's voice had a commanding presence to it that she rarely had, which caused the young woman to stop in her stride and turn around. Yes, Mom? You can't go like that. Trying on her own overcoat above a mauve silk blouse. You can't go like that. Why not? Emily asked. Defensive, so suddenly defensive. Mary Jo's eyes cut to her father, to Dennis. I just got a notification about something that happened a year ago. The memories. And then back to Emily. Just go upstairs. Just go upstairs and change. Sure, once you take another look at the dress, you'll understand what I mean. Why I'm saying this. Dennis gave an exasperated sigh and sunk into his seat on the couch. And of course, we're going to end up late, even though he said we wouldn't be. Not quite understanding what her mother was talking about, and her father not putting up a fight, Emily could only nod and agree. Okay. We don't. Just the one first. You drum in yourself once you're ready? Her mother asked. Again, her eyes cutting over to Dennis. Who was grumpy on the couch. Rawr, rawr, rawr. I can do that. Emily agreed readily. She knew her dad already hated being late to events, but ever since Marie married into the family, became a member of the family. People who were late always got an earful from the ever punctual woman. Alright, scrolling up a bit. like you, she continued. Like you. Another. Get up and let's go. Dennis huffed. And then stood. Yes, ma'am. He scooped up three different three different dishes, all covered and surrounded by carrying bags. By specialized carrying bags. And made his way out of the house, followed by Mary Jo. Drive safe, Emily called after them. You too, dear. Alright. Back up in her room. Emily inspected the dress. Back up in her room. And in a nice slacks and shirt outfit that still somehow to match. And a nice black slacks and tangerine to match the dress. The applied makeup and accessories. Still need to eliminate that. Mental note made. To match the applied makeup and jewelry. And took a look at the dress she was wearing. The front of it looked fine, but as she spun the fabric around in her hand, she could see why the trim bothered her. In the back, it was starting to it had somehow become unstitched, and the hem was uncurled for about the hand's length. Or about a hand's length of the fabric. The skirt. It was quite a... How did I miss that? She muttered to herself before slipping the dress into a pile of clothing that she intended to fix someday. you intended to mend someday. Now that she was put together, put together, after double checking to confirm this outfit had no... What's the word I'm looking for? After double checking to confirm this outfit had no malfunctions, Emily felt prepared to go visit with her family and made her way downstairs. Before she could leave, though, she noticed the family PC in the corner of her eye. And a thought overtook her. If that Clark guy was a family friend, maybe one of her parents had him on an instant messenger of some sort. Trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. Give me a sec. The PC was password protected, but since it was the family computer, everyone in the household had the password. Password 1. Please don't make that your password, guys. It's a terrible idea. Emily booted PC, punched in the password, and began scouring, searching for the usual messaging programs she knew her mother liked to use. There he was. Only one Clark. The entire list. That narrows it down. The young woman muttered. She began to type a message to him, but thought otherwise. But thought better of it. But halfway through, she backspaced all of the text. Halfway through, she backspaced all the text and left no message. And ended up not sent any messages to this Clark. Instead, she picked up her phone and in her digital notepad made a note of his name. My chapters are really short. I don't know how I feel about this, guys. With 6 also, just barely. Feels so bad. I hate short chapters. But I'm also trying to keep this as a short story, so... And again, that's what editing's for, right? Who knows, maybe I'll merge some of these chapters into one chapter. Okay, that narrows it down. The element matter should begin to type this. The text and sending any messages to this. A note of his name. At least, if she got bored during tonight's dinner, she would have something to do. Alright, that's a good line to end a chapter on. Alright, so chapter 8. Nope, it's not a bullet point. Ooh, I didn't intend that to happen, but happy mistake. Oh, it is the same font. It just looks different. Oh, sorry, who is this? Was the reply that Emily woke up to on Friday morning. Did she introduce herself in the first message? She scrolled up. She checked her phone. She scrolled up slightly to read over what she had sent last night after downloading the messaging application. And getting him added to it on her behalf. Hey, you don't know me. Hey, you don't know me, but I am? Yeah, no, that's not going in text. Wasn't that enough information? Did he need to prove her identity? She double-checked the app. The username she used on the app. on the application. And sure enough, it certainly had her name on it. Which she knew was dangerous. Don't do that either, guys. Which she knew was not industry, which was not a safe practice. But she didn't intend to use the application beyond what was beyond this communication. To sigh, she put her phone aside. Oh wait, I didn't do a nightmare scene. I'm gonna have to do that. Give me a sec. I'm gonna rewind. We don't have to do a full-on scene like we did chapter 4. Once again, startled awake from her slumber. This time, there was a vampire. A room full of mossy walls. And a child sitting naked in the middle of the room. And a child sitting in period clothing. Sitting huddled in the middle of the room, staring expectantly up at her. In her panic, she couldn't recall what had happened in the dream that forced her awake. She just knew that she was sheathed in sweat. That she was having a difficult time calming down. Like always, her eyes swept over her room. The streetlight, a few houses down, doing its job to barely illuminate the room around her. Her furniture, her luggage, even her closet doors made interesting shadows. Made shadows. Even their closet doors were all alien in this light. That blinking light. As her eyes finished their sweep of the room, she noticed a brighter light, visible barely in her periphery. Turning, she noticed that the charging light of her phone charger was on its dark blue mode. Ooh, why are you still... on this dark... Turning over, she noticed that her phone charger light was emitting a dark blue light, the indicator that it was working on charging her phone. It was normally this dark to avoid overnight interruptions for normal sleepers who might have a moment outside of sleep, and to prevent and to reduce the likelihood that the light would prevent a return to sleep. If anything was going to prevent Emily from returning to sleep, it certainly would not be a phone charger. At least not while she was living in this household. Curious, she reached over and swiped up on her screen to see her notifications. One notification was a reply she had been waiting for, though the contents were not quite what she had expected. Alright, scrolling up. Contents. I'm sorry, who's this? Was the reply that Emily woke up to? Yes, that Emily received. Oh, we only have 10 minutes left. Y'all are quiet tonight, which is fine. I know, again, I started late, so... Didn't she introduce herself in the first message? She unlocked her phone and scrolled up slightly to read what she had sent last night after downloading the messaging application and getting him adding him using the information she gathered from her family's computer. Hey, you don't know me, but I'm Dennis and Mary Jo's daughter. They sent you such on to can you tell me about your nightmare? Wasn't that enough information? Did he really need her proof her identity? She double-checked the username she had used on the application, and it certainly had her name on it, which she knew was not a safe practice, but she didn't intend to use. She put her phone aside and thought about laying back down. She didn't want to lay back down. She was awake. The nightmare and the phone saw to that. I forget what I had her say in the first chapter. She called to her device to turn the room lights on. From her time on the phone, she saw that it was nearly 4 a.m., 4 in the morning. Wasn't too terribly early. She could get some time in. But it wasn't too terribly, she could get some time. She could feasibly wake up this early and get some chores done around the house or something. At least start a or two, a pot of coffee or two. She called her device to turn the room lights on and proceeded to get ready for the day. As she was getting dressed, she thought about how she would respond to Clark's message. Maybe there really was Marlon Clark. They had the other one saved. The computer. That would explain the response she got. Still, wouldn't this Clark? Nope. Well, I have a question about who she was at that point then. Oh, excuse me. Dang it. Alright, 5 minutes. What can I get done in 5 minutes? Probably a lot. As she was getting dressed, she thought about what she... Oh no, I don't want to. It just didn't make any sense to her. In her tired state, Emily felt a momentary urge to throw a fit. Instead of pulling clothes from the closet, she wanted to rip them all down. Oh, what's the bar? Your bar and all. Instead of keeping her luggage tidy and in a corner, she wanted to rip the zipper asunder and dump all of the clothes she had brought and scatter them across the room. She wanted to wipe all of the trinkets and jewelry cases and makeup boxes she had displayed on her dressers. She wanted to wipe her arms across the tops of her dressers and scatter all of the trinkets and jewelry cases and makeup boxes that she had meticulously displayed. All across her room. And create a chaotic environment. In that brief moment of allowing anarchy. That's not anarchy. Anarchy. To attempt to seduce her, she even thought about flipping her bed onto its side, just to show how fed up with the damn furniture, damn piece of furniture she was. It was all just momentary. Daydream, though. Emily was not raging throughout her room. She was in the middle of pulling on a long-sleeve shirt. A long-sleeve shirt. Actually, that's a really good place to end. I like it. Alright. Good job, me. I don't remember where we started today, but we're at 9,000 words, so hit 10k probably tomorrow. And maybe Saturday we'll reward ourselves with a gaming stream. But for now, guys, this is the end. I've got some other things I need to worry about. So I want to thank you all so much for joining me today, and have yourselves a great rest of your day. I will be back sometime tomorrow afternoon. Bye!